In May of 2024, something happened in the United States that had never happened before. A former president of the United States was convicted of 34 felony counts in a criminal court. For some, it was proof that the justice system still works. For others, it was proof that the system had been weaponized. But if you remove politics, social media, and cable news, what you're left with is a complex legal case built around paperwork. Not espionage, not war crimes, not corruption in foreign governments, but internal business records. This video is not an argument. It is a timeline. We are going to look at what the charges were, how the case worked, what the law actually says, and why this case matters, without telling you what to think about it. The charges in this case were brought under New York Penal Law Section 175.10. This law makes it a felony to falsify business records with the intent to conceal another crime. The key legal idea here is intent. It isn't illegal to make a bookkeeping mistake. It becomes illegal when prosecutors believe the mistake was deliberate and designed to hide something else. This specific statute has existed for decades. It has been used against corporations, financiers, and business executives in New York. It had never been used against a former U.S. president. The prosecution's case centered on a payment made to an adult film actress named Stormy Daniels. According to court testimony, money was paid to prevent a story from becoming public shortly before the 2016 election. These types of payments are often referred to as hush money. The question for the court was not whether the payment happened. The question was how it was recorded internally. Prosecutors argued that internal records misrepresented the purpose of the payments. They claimed the records labeled these payments as legal expenses rather than campaign-related expenditures. That distinction is what turned a financial record into a felony charge. Prosecutors relied heavily on document trails, checks, invoices, accounting ledgers, internal emails. They presented testimony from Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney, who admitted to facilitating the payments. Cohen testified that the goal of the payment was to prevent negative publicity during the election. The state argued this created a criminal intent, not just to pay, but to disguise the purpose of the payment inside corporate records. The courtroom focus was not on morality, it was on labeling. What were the payments called? Who approved them? And why were they categorized the way they were? The defense took a completely different position. They argued that hush money payments, while controversial, are not automatically illegal. They said labeling expenses as legal fees was not unusual. They argued that the prosecution was stretching a state business records law to cover federal election matters. They also questioned the credibility of Michael Cohen. Cohen had previously pleaded guilty to crimes. He had publicly turned against Trump. The defense argued his testimony was motivated by resentment and self-interest. The defense told the jury this was not a criminal case. It was a political one, but that argument was not accepted by the jury. The jury convicted Trump on all 34 felony counts. Each count represented a separate record. Each falsified document became its own charge. The important detail: this is a state conviction, not a federal one. It does not remove Trump from the presidential ballot. It does not automatically send him to prison. Sentencing was left to the court. The case did not decide whether Trump should be president. It only decided whether New York criminal statute had been violated. Supporters of the prosecution argue this case sends a message. Powerful people are not immune from criminal law. They argue this strengthens democracy. Opponents argue the opposite. They claim this opens the door to politically motivated prosecutions. They worry the precedent could be used against any political figure in the future. This disagreement isn't emotional, it's structural. It's about how much trust people have in legal institutions. This was never just a court case. It was a stress test for the justice system, for public trust, for political neutrality. You don't have to like the verdict. You don't have to hate it, but you should understand it. Because this case isn't really about one person. It's about what happens when law and power collide in public view.